it seems to me that the most regrettable thing the most regrettable thing is actually to not have hope in some instances. Not having hope, or not being delusional enough to try, can actually make for the most regrettable thing, which I find very ironic, because in the first place, you know that what you want is not going to it's not going to happen, right? It's not going to happen, but it's just not going to work out. But you have to try. Like, there's this girl that you really like. You're in high school, and you've known them for just about the entire school semester. You talk to them. You warmed your way into having a friendly relationship with them. And they're nice to you. They're very pleasant. They may suspect you're attracted to them, but neither one of you really says anything, and maybe they would rather you didn't admit it. And and you yourself don't have the guts to do so anyway. So you're in this sham relationship of a friendship, and school comes to an end, and you never even got their number, or maybe you got their number, but now it doesn't even matter because you text them back. 2 years pass. You grow up to be someone more assertive, more straightforward, and you look back and you regret never having spilled your guts out to this person who was most likely going to reject you, and it just really eats you up, right? You just curse yourself for being so weak, and so fragile, so dishonest with yourself. All those conversations, imagine. You just couldn't do it. You just couldn't do it, and you lived a lie all your life for that stretch of time, which felt like forever, right? And now you don't have it anymore. You talk to the person doesn't actually want to talk to you. They were nice in school, but now you're talking to them on social media. They're not responding back to you, right? They were nice, but only for like a limited time offer. And now you lost your chance to say whatever you want to say in person, right? They just don't have time for that confession anymore. Like your confession window closed, even though they were not going to accept you. It was, at least you had that time, and now you regret not having said anything. Maybe there is some low probability. Maybe there was a certain level of probability. There's a certain probability that would say yes. Most likely they would say no, based off of just like common sense, or just based off of experience. Yeah, most likely they would say no, right? You were simply not attractive enough. You were not funny enough. Like, you knew you weren't funny enough, or like you suspected they were being more charitable to you, than they would have liked. But it was nice anyway that they were nice to you, and it was nice. It was a nice lie, even though it was a very painful lie, actually, because you can never really say you were never really fully honest with them, so your conversations were never so fruitful. There was always something missing and something hollow in those conversations. And if only you just confessed. If only you just confessed. But now you can't, right? Maybe if you're lucky, there'll be some high school reunions down along the way, and maybe you'll go and they'll be there and you'll confess. But now they just don't want to hear it, right? They just don't want to hear it, and you know perfectly well. You're reasonable enough to understand that they most likely would have rejected you, but you still regret not having said anything. It's like, for some reason, it bothers you more now that it was better that you failed than to not having tried at all. For some reason, it bothers you a lot more for not having tried. right? It just bothers you a lot more. It's all so miserable. You just curse yourself for it, for being so weak, for just not having tried. Yeah, it's like, man, I wanted to fail. It's like, yeah, you know, you come to a point where where to fail, you would have welcomed failure 1,000 times more than now, where you're in a situation now where you're in a situation that you never allowed yourself to fail. You were too scared. You were too scared. You just didn't try. So now it's just, you have nothing. You have nothing. All you have is, regret. And it really hits you. It's like, man, if only I tried, if only I'd failed, if only I'd allowed myself to fail, I would never have to think about this ever again. Right? It's like, yeah, tough luck. I wasn't attractive enough. I wasn't good looking enough. I wasn't funny enough. I wasn't charismatic enough. I just wasn't that kind of guy. But it would have been better if I'd actually done the one simple thing to just ask, right? To just be honest. And you missed your chance, and you will think about it for the rest of your life. Some people can get over it, but that's one of the hardest things to get over. The guilt, the torment of never having tried. That sucks. That really hangs with you, right? Like I saw this old man. All his hair was grayed out. He was Gandalf. He was pretty much Gandalf. He was freaking Gandalf the Grey, bro. He was Gandalf the Grey. Gandalf the White, actually. He was Gandalf the White. And he was, he had this YouTube video, like a lot of views. You can probably find a couple of those, on YouTube. He was just lamenting. He was lamenting that one memory he had as a high schooler about that girl he could never confess to. And she just, they went to the movies, and he had a chance, and maybe he didn't make the move, he didn't kiss her, he didn't confess himself, and, he knew it at that point. He had a chance, he didn't take it, and he knew it, and she knew it too, and it was just a very sour event. The next day she was the kind of girl that she was honest enough to tell him, hey, you should have, you missed your chance, you should have made the first move, right? And girls are not supposed to make the first move. It was something like that. Girls are not, I was not the one supposed to make the first move. It's like usually boys are the ones that make the first move. Right, and you were just looking glum. You didn't know anything. You didn't have anything else to say, right? And you just left it. Maybe you just went back to being friends, and you just never talked about it again. And she just ceased to consider you after that. She forgave you for it, but she just never saw you that way anymore, right? And that memory, after some time, you come apart, you separate, life takes you away, and you do other things. You go separate ways, and down along the way, that memory hits you. You just never got over that girl. You just never got over her. You never got over her. And that memory comes back to you, that one terrible failure. Right? And, actually, it's even more painful when you actually had a chance and you didn't take it. Right, it's one thing to know, hey, I know I just don't have enough on me, to succeed, but imagine the person confirming that you actually had a chance and you blew it. I think that may even be far more painful. Right? That may even be way more painful. So yeah, it's so it seems that the things that we regret most are that which we never tried at all. The failure of never having tried, of never having done at all. That is It seems to me that that is what eats away at us the most.